So if you're building cosplay props and armor out of EVA foam, then you should be using contact cement to hold it all together. There's a lot of tutorials out there that are going to show you how to use that stuff, but none of them really talk about how to remove it. And messy contact cement is going to show through on your final finish, and that could ruin an otherwise clean build. So for today's tip, I'm going to show you a simple way to remove it safely. So I say safely because we're going to need to use acetone, which is generally sold as a nail polish remover. Acetone is a solvent, which essentially means it dissolves things. Things like nail polish, or paint, or contact cement. Now, as far as chemicals go, acetone isn't so bad. In fact, that contact cement you were just using is full of similar and potentially worse solvents already. But regardless, it's a solvent, so you want to be mindful about how you handle it and store it. For one, it's flammable, so keep it away from open flames. Second, it's an irritant, so consider wearing gloves or a respirator if it bothers you. So I don't love the idea of keeping a big bottle of flammable chemicals near my workspace, so I store my acetone in a smaller bottle. Now, if you plan on doing the same, you'll need to make sure to store it in the right type of container. This is important because acetone, as a solvent, will dissolve certain plastics. So either store it in a glass container or look for high-density polyethylene plastic. Now don't worry, these are pretty common. Just look for plastic bottles that are cloudy in appearance and are labeled with recycling number 2 and the letters HDPE. Next on our safety checklist, make sure that you're using actual EVA foam. Not all foam is the same, and true EVA foam is actually pretty chemically resistant, and it shouldn't cause you any problems. If you aren't sure, you might want to test this on a scrap piece of foam first. And finally, this should go without saying, be careful to protect your workspace. At the risk of repeating myself too much, acetone is a solvent, and it's going to dissolve things. For example, the finish on your desk, and the grid lines on your cutting mat, so show some restraint when you use it. So with all those warnings out of the way, how about we see how this works? You won't be using too much of this stuff, so you can just use a cotton swab. All you gotta do is wet the dried contact cement with the solvent and apply a little bit of friction. Without much effort, the contact cement is gonna curl up and then you can just wipe it away. And that's all it takes. Now you can feel free to slather on your contact cement with absolute reckless abandon, while still being smug about how clean your seams are. So that's it for today, but if you'd like to see more tips like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel. You can also find me over on Twitch in the Makers and Crafting section. That's right, there's more than hot tubs and video games on that platform. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, and those links are in the description below. And I'll see you next time.